And we're back. This is Business Rockstars. Let's go now to Mark Lack.
How can you utilize technology to start or grow a business? Brandon Brotsky is joining us to break it down. He's the CTO and founder of Brotsky, LLC. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, brother.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me.
So break it down for us. How can we utilize technology?
So it depends. Do you want to start your business? Do you want to grow your business? Those are two completely different concepts. If you want to start it, what I like to do is go with more of the MVP approach. And MVP, for those of you who don't know, it's
not most valuable player.
not most valuable player, minimal viable product.
Okay.
So it's what you need just to get started. And you use this a lot with startups to like maybe when you're in the funding stage.
Okay, so it's kind of like a prototype in a sense?
Exactly. It's exactly a prototype. Then there's the grow your business. Now, grow your business, you have different tasks. Maybe you want to automate things. Maybe you want to replace things.
So I don't have a prototype anymore, most likely. I have a real product, and now I'm trying to grow my business.
Hopefully. Because I mean, a lot of times you start with a prototype, you end up sticking with a prototype for way longer than you need to. It's actually, it could be a problem.
Yeah.
But let's go into just starting your business with the MVP.
Because I think more people are trying to start a business than grow it. At least maybe people listening with us right now.
And I think that goes along with, there's a lot of failed businesses, right? You have most businesses fail, unfortunately.
I believe it's 96% within 10 years fail.
So you have a lot of restartups, right?
Yeah.
And that's great. That's great. I think starting a business is a lot of fun. So it really is.
That's what you help
fun.
companies do, right?
I do.
Start and or grow a business.
And no, what I like to do is, it depends on what you're starting with. If you're starting and you already have a budget, you have $1 million to spend, it's a completely different story. I like to start business in the small sense. If you start with a very small investment of time and money, you don't have as much to lose. And when something sticks, you have a lot more to play with. You're not investing tons and tons of time into something. I hear all the time when people say, oh, well, I have this great idea, but I don't have $100,000 to play with. I don't get that. I don't understand it, because you can really start with something very small and something you can do in maybe a day. Like I'm
really that fast?
I'm working on this algorithm for investing, and without going into too much detail, because it can be a little dry, there's buying and there's selling, and then there's analytics. So the first day when I started this, I built the buy algorithm, and then after that I built the sell algorithm the next day. So it's 2 days, and it worked. Didn't even have an interface. It was just literally command line. I would just type something and it popped up.
But that's because you know how to code and program because you spent the time to learn that?
It is. But let's say you don't. You can hire someone for a couple days of work, get something done for a very minimal cost.
Hundreds of bucks, thousands of bucks, or something like that.
And I value my time as money. Like money and time are equivalent to me.
Yeah.
That's one of the ways I grew a service business, is understanding that time is exactly the same as a product in my field. So now once you have that, you see if it works or if it doesn't work.
You got your prototype. That's what stage we're at now.
Yeah, and that's only 2 days of work. It's not a big deal. Then you're like, oh, I'm curious about something else. And you build another one, another one, another one. And 6 months later, you realize, wow, I actually have something. You didn't even realize you built it. It's not overwhelming at all because you're doing each task one by one. So that's the way I like to start businesses, something small.
On the note of creating a lot of different products, I think that in some situations, creating a lot of different products or ideas or prototypes is genius and very effective, because sometimes you have to have it to prove the demand. But other times, it's better to test the demand and sell something with rendering images and the value proposition and great marketing first, to take pre-sale orders and then spend the money there on the prototype and the development. Sometimes, again, there's zero context here.
Yeah.
These are contextual examples.
That's where like Kickstarter campaigns come in, and that's where you have this fancy design. And sometimes when I'm working with clients, like I like to separate tasks, right? You have the cool features that you can build and program, but they take forever to make. And then you have the things that look really pretty, but they
don't do much.
They come up. I was in a meeting the other day, and the client wanted to do a quote that would come up, and it would come up in the beginning page. They were very fixated on that, and I'm laughing because it's like a huge project, months of work, and the one thing they're really, really excited about is something that takes like a couple hours to do.
That was like the bottleneck.
That's
just
like
getting that one thing done.
Let's talk about going and growing the business.
Okay.
Like let's say you want to grow a business and you want to automate.
What technology can we capitalize on, utilize, leverage to grow a business that's existing right now?
Automation is where like my business is really going into more in recent, like in the last year or so. All automation, because that's really the future. There's a big thing where automation is going to take a lot of jobs and everything. So our goal is to really be on top of that, and so we're not affected, right?
Yeah.
and to really be creating that. When I start automating a business, I basically take anything it takes over 30 seconds to do for a human and figure out a way to automate that with code. Each one of those tasks is very small, and it sounds like 30 seconds isn't like a big deal. But if you think of 30 seconds every day
Compounded.
for all your employees over and over, and it's an area where someone could make a mistake.
Okay.
That mistake could cost you a lot. And this happened originally with a specific type of coding. We were doing a lot of email campaigns for a lot of clients, and they had a lot of little intricacies the way that it was coded. So one of the first things we wrote for automation was a way to scan the code and make sure that code was valid in some way. Later down the line, we've made it so investments are automated. Things like e-commerce stores on eBay and Amazon are all automated, all the transactions. And that's really where...
How do you automate the transaction? What do you mean?
Through APIs. Let's say you're dealing with E-Trade. E-Trade has an API, which is a way to get access to their software, make connections, and my software is over sitting on a server. It reads what's going on and says to make a transaction or not. And it becomes very interesting, and you get into technologies like machine learning, where it takes a bunch of data and analyzes it and tells you, I either want to purchase that or I don't want to purchase that. So it can actually do work and figure out things that would take months for a human to figure out just that single transaction.
And I think most people listening right now are probably thinking, it would take me years to figure out and implement some of the things you're talking about.
I know.
And I told you, let's try to keep it basic. And this is the basic stuff. So most people out there say, okay, this stuff isn't stuff I would ever do. I'd hire somebody like you to do it. So if somebody wants to learn more about you or get in touch, how can they do that?
BrotskyDesigns.com.
Okay.
You can even email me directly at brandon@brotskydesigns.com.
There you go. Well, thanks for coming on the show, brother. You're a rock
Thank you.
star. Thank you. I'm Mark Lack. This is Business Rockstars. We connect a community of entrepreneurs. You can join us on Facebook, Twitter, and online at businessrockstars.com.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Pat O'Brien, and we'll see you next time on Business Rockstars.
This information is given with the understanding that the host nor Business Rockstars is engaged in rendering legal, accounting, business, or other professional advice. Since the details of your situation are unique, you should additionally seek the advice and services of a competent professional.